Hi, welcome to Miss Indica's podcast. I am Just Tab, and I'm here starring with Zay VR.
Hi.
Today we're gonna talk a little bit about VR chat, a little bit how we feel about things, maybe explore more into who Zay is as a person, so everybody gets a little experience of who she is as a person. Make sure to follow her at XAE.VR at Instagram. So, for starters, how did you get your name?
Originally, I had an older account, and it was originally called Zoid, and I guess I kind of outgrew that name, and I made a new account, and I was like, wanted to change it up a bit, so I went with Zay.
Why? What's Zoid? Was that
I just made it up. But it was really funny because I even still now get questions about how you pronounce it, and I did back then too, but it's enjoyable.
That's fun. I kind of am the same way. I don't know how I got my name. I outgrew my old one.
Yeah,
I was
a
like,
long time
that
ago.
one's interesting. I don't know how long I've had Just Tab, but my original name is, Sync X Tabby. I went through a breakup, so I changed it.
Ooh.
It was one of those mental breakdowns. What made you get into content making on Instagram?
Well, it kind of all started when my friend, Potato, she one day called me on Discord and she was like, look at this Oculus I got, and she screen shared the whole thing, and I was like, whoa, that was the coolest shit ever. So then that Christmas, I asked my parents for an Oculus, and I got an Oculus obviously, and shortly after I started getting into VR and stuff, I realized that people had Instagrams for this kind of stuff. And so I was like, ooh, this looks like fun. So I started posting pictures of me and the people that I hung out with, fun times that I had, and I guess that's kind of just how it started. And I realized once I started following more, I guess I should say, professional people, I started realizing that, ooh, I really like being a model, and I like taking my own pictures, and I like how nice pictures can look if I do it right. And so I started doing that, and I eventually grew and started getting more social with people. And yeah.
If this is like a weird question, but if you grew big enough, would you have yourself would you make it to where people could hire you to model, like pay for your modeling, get into that sort of?
For me to have people pay for my modeling, I know I would have to have like a big audience for that.
Yeah, like for like music videos or something, things like that.
Yeah, maybe. Like that is something I would want to do, like after I get better tracking, better quality things, and once I can do that stuff, like once I upgrade my stuff and I have a bigger audience and get more known, maybe I would do that, but for the time being, I wouldn't want people to pay.
Yeah.
But maybe eventually.
And in VR chat, do you plan on getting into more things consisting in VR chat? Like rendering, if PC ever gets involved, or photography, like show photography, or I don't know, other animated things.
Yeah. Once I get a PC, rendering was something that I was looking into, and making my own avatars is something that I really do want to learn because I have some good ideas, and I would love to do that and make my own and make some avatars for my friends, including that. But yeah, definitely, I would definitely want to do that if I can eventually.
With avatars, do you think in the future you can make avatars to make for the public, like other content creators, like put up for sale, or you make a public world for it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love going into Publix and seeing how people, the way that I see it, when people have public worlds, obviously people are gonna find them, and if the avatars are good enough, like Ginger for example, you've seen how much people are using that one. And that one is actually a public one, and like obviously there's a public version, but I feel like it's a way to advertise,
Yeah.
to show people, and also like it's kind of like a showcase, but it's accessible. And but yeah, if I definitely did get to make avatars and they got good enough to be in a public world, if they did, yeah, I would for sure make an avatar world for people to use freely, and also have paid avatars included.
What kind of avatars do you think you'd make?
I'm not sure yet. I guess. Style-wise, maybe like goth kind of stuff, like maybe like kind of similar to ones that I wear, or avatars that I've posted with, maybe like having the same concept as that, having like a grunge-ish, I don't know the word, yeah, that word. But like, I don't know what I would really make, honestly. I would just have to learn, decide if it looks good, and just work my way up to finding a style to, because every avatar creator has their own style. They're easy to point out if the style is different enough, and I would want to find my own style once I start working with that.
Avatar creation is so complicated. People make it look super easy, but it's a lot to the process.
Yeah, and that's a challenge that I'm willing to accept, because I like a challenge once in a while, and I want to try doing something like that, and I want to find my passion for doing that, because it really seems interesting to me, and something that I look forward to in the future. And yeah.
What about content creation do you think has been the hardest for you?
Probably meeting people. Because, well, there's two different, in my opinion, there's two different things happen. You meet people, they message you first, and you make friends. Or two, you talk to somebody and they aren't really that great of a person. Because if you mess up with a person, and I guess they're known, stuff can happen, and it's cause and effect. So definitely socializing has probably been like the hardest thing for me, because taking pictures, I absolutely love that. I've always done that. I've always liked that, so that's very easy. But yeah, socializing is definitely the hardest thing about all of that, because you never know who you're gonna talk to, who you're gonna meet, or how they're gonna act until you actually meet them. And
yeah. How do you see yourself, like, here, when it comes to VR chat? See yourself in a year.
I'm not really sure. If I'm being honest, really enjoying it. I have been making stuff that I enjoy, doing stuff that I enjoy, hanging out with my friends, and that's really the point of my account and why I post. It's something that I enjoy. It's a passion of mine. And it's always been something that I enjoy. Like whenever I have pictures, I always brag to my friends, and I'm like, "Look how good these are!" And like, that's really just the whole point of my account: making friends, sharing my content.
It's that whole like enjoy it. A lot of people I know in the community are definitely they end up crashing a lot because of how hard they take it and how like it just overfills their head. Like they don't see enjoyment sometimes seeing it. So it's really good to have that mental to still enjoy the things that you're doing.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that a handful of times with content creators, but I feel I don't want to make myself stick out or make people think that I'm better than them, but what I see my account as, I feel like it might be different because I know a lot of people have really good intentions, but I want to try my hardest to keep that good intention that I started with and go forward with that. I've seen people get way ahead of themselves from like being known, being like just stuff like that, and following and money and just all that. I mean, eventually, I was thinking about maybe I could have a career in this and maybe get paid for some stuff and make a living off of this, because I don't want to do something, I don't want to end up doing something in my life that I don't enjoy and I end up being stuck with that the rest of my life. But I realized from my 3 years of playing so far, I really enjoy this and I want to keep doing this and I want to evolve, I want to grow, and I want to grow with people, if that makes any sense. And I'm being very sincere when I say this. I love doing this stuff, and I just hope I can still keep this mindset. I know how people say this before they change and then they end up changing, but I really do have passion for myself, and I do believe that I will keep this kind of mindset for my content and just really all of it.
Do you see VR chat as like something that can be professional or like as a hobby?
Oh yes, definitely. Oh my gosh, the amount of amazing content creators that I see their pictures and they just look amazing. It's definitely a hobby, definitely.
Yeah, I got some place. What would you say? Do you have like who made you like get it? It's like who's like your idol?
If I'm being honest, I don't have a specific idol. I really everyone. Like I look up to you. Like I love your content. I love you, and I really, it's something I have to think about because I never really thought about me having an idol. But in honesty, I just see bigger people, bigger audience people, and it just really depends on how their photos look. Like inspiration, excuse me. Like, just like something like that, if any of that makes sense.
Yeah. A lot of the content as it is, it's crazy. I've seen some things that people made and I just don't understand the concept. How people were able to create it. Especially some of these people's editing skills. It really brings things to life.
Definitely.
so bad at asking questions. Okay,
You're
I
fine.
don't know. What do you want to say? What is to get more into picture taking, even as just a quest that can't do PC things and things are limited. What would you say when it comes to them wanting to get into? What would you say?
I would just say go for it, do the best that you can, and really quality doesn't matter. It just what you aim for and what you're happy with, that's all that matters. I thought before I started getting my pictures taken, I would go in and edit my pictures and make them appear to have better quality and possibly PC quality at most. Like, wouldn't be exact, but I do have a favorite post of mine.
What would you say? What do you think PC Quest pictures have evolved the quality wise? You think it's gotten better Questies, or do you think it's the same as when you first started playing?
It's for Quest, it's definitely changed because when I first started, hair was stiff, no physics whatsoever until that one update. So it's definitely changed up to there, and like sometimes it's not noticeable to some people, but when I think about it, it's definitely changed for Quest people. It has gotten better throughout time since I started. I am very happy about that, actually. But yeah, definitely it's changed a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think the quality definitely has changed a lot. But I see some people posting quality. I thought Epic gets PC, but no, they just have like really good Quest quality for some reason. It's really not off. Some of the editing we can do to alter things. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, good for them. It's always good to have like good editing skills, even if you don't use it, and if you do, I do like people who edit. I think they have talent. Definitely.
But do you think you would get into editing?
I used to edit my pictures a little bit, but I'm better with lighting and environment, kind of, because when I would go in and sometimes edit my pictures, I would maybe add a little bit of filter, mess with the lighting a little bit, and like add a little bit of shade on the avatar, but that's really just my routine, and it would take like less than 3 minutes to do for a single picture. Like, it was easy, it was quick, and that was just really what I used to do. But yeah, if I could get better at editing, I would, so then I wouldn't have to ask people to edit sometimes. I do feel bad for asking so much.
Wow. Do you think you would ever get into streaming? Like VR chat streamers, VTubers?
Probably not. I don't think streaming was really ever my thing to do, because I've never liked videotaping myself, and this is actually my first time doing this, so probably not with the streaming. Maybe doing like stuff like how Avatar creators would have like a Discord, be engaged but not too engaged, but also still be out there, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable. It can be really stressful, not even just with the recording itself.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's concept you definitely have to be invested in. So. Is there anything specifically you want to talk about yourself? Like, do you think do something or something good to Plaza Center?
What about VR relationships? Let's talk about that for a minute.
What about VR chat related?
From some people I've seen and also experienced firsthand, VR relationships, like there's either two ways. It goes or they end up good. Because I feel like a lot of people see online stuff as easy access to get with people, and with that kind of mindset, they hop into relationships they thought they were ready for, but they really weren't. So then they just keep hopping from one to another, and they don't fully commit to a relationship because they know that they could always come back to possibly this game, VR chat, and instantly find another one, because there's always going to be people who are looking for a relationship, and sometimes they don't know, and sometimes they do it. But really, it's just getting into a relationship too quickly, and then a lot of issues rise, and then you leave because there's so many issues, and it's just a whole cycle. And I've seen that
Definitely,
happen to people.
I definitely think that too. A lot of people in here definitely just rushing. A lot of people don't understand the concept of a relationship for sure. I think that's one of the biggest drama concepts out there. A lot of dramas based off these relationship issues. Something's always happening with relationships.
Yeah, definitely.
Even people that didn't base their relationships on VR chats too. And then when things just roll off bad relationships content, it's just not worth the hassle. You know, a lot of people jump into relationships dating somebody they don't even know. Like, they're okay with saying not knowing their name or their face or whatever, but I think they're in love after a few days. Sure.
With my opinion on that, if you talk to the person for an extended amount of time, then, like, let's say about 3 months, and then you start realizing you're close, and that's when, me personally, that's when I would start asking, hey, could I know what you really look like, and like getting more personal, and then just, there's like stages. That's how I see it. There's different stages. You have to get to know the person. You have to know how they act around other people. You have to know how they act around you, and maybe even learn about the person. You have to really learn about the person.
And it's, you know, I mean, even if you don't really know the person, at least get to know them enough where it's comfortable enough to be in a relationship, because you can't know somebody front to back unless you're able to experience, you know, everything. In relationships, you'll see a lot more and you'll experience a lot more. And after certain, like, I think 3 months is good. I mean, if you've been talking to the person, things have been straightforward from the beginning, and like, you know the person, you're getting to know, like, the environment and everything. I do think after a couple or a good amount of time, at least, relationships could be made if they keep there.
Yeah, like, you have to know what you're getting yourself into before you get with a person. Because if you're friends with this person for an extended amount of time, if you see very toxic interactions with them, and you've encountered that, like, just a huge red flag overall, and then pow, you get into a relationship. You have to acknowledge that.
Pow! Oh. My legs are hurting.
Oh my god.
What? So, how do you feel on just VR chat based relationship, like, you know, dating website, or whatever? Like, how do you feel about all that? Do you know what Nevermeet is? Do you?
Yeah. a VR-based relationship, me personally, I don't understand the concept, if I'm being fully honest, because VR chat was made for being sociable, hanging out with friends and hanging out and talking. So, for example, if I ever got into a VR relationship, like, based off of VR, it wouldn't be the same because, like, you know how people cuddle a lot and there's like that kind of thing. Maybe that even that would happen, but there's also like a physical affection. I know people have different ways of showing their affection, obviously.
Yeah,
But
there's
me as a
different types
physical
of-
person, and
what's it called?
that's definitely like something I would think about before
Love language.
doing that. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, love language. My bad. But yeah, there's that. And then you would have to like really interact with that person, and if they're not on like for a day, you're sitting there wondering where are they?
I have literally
Why?
seen relationships on here, and they'll be like, "I'm sad." I'm like, "Why?" Like, my boyfriend's not on. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly what I
hold
mean.
on, text. They're like, "I don't have a number or anything. It's a VR relationship." I'm like, how do you live like that?
Yeah.
Like, it's literally
Sometimes
like
it's bearable.
they
for
have to
people.
live in their day, and they just, this is the life that they want to live, is nothing but pixelated. Like, people get used to the physical touch through something that isn't there. Like, they're completely manipulating their brain just to live that way and feel that way.
Phantom sense.
And it's not even just that. It's sometimes it can trick you into making you feel like that's a real person in front of you. That's comfort, you know? Like, they look at you and you fall in love just because they looked at you a certain way, type of thing, and that's concerning. I definitely don't think people should reach that point. Sadly, there's a reality out there, and everybody has a soulmate, no matter the way you look at it. But people just don't care to take the time to find that person.
Yeah, like
People just want to rush it and automatically think, "Oh, we've been dating for a week, we're soulmates now.
yeah, definitely. People like that.
Marry me."
Yeah, they're definitely.
Oh my god. But
But yeah, there's definitely people like that, and they just like they're hungry for like affection and like attention. I feel like that's how people are.
how
with
do you
that.
feel? How do you feel about VR chat relationships and phantom pregnancy?
Don't even get me started, man. Okay, relationships.
I don't
that's a whole
understand
nother thing.
phantom pregnancy. Somebody is like a skinny little twig, but on VR chat they're like, "I'm pregnant. Oh my god, I'm having a baby. I feel like kicking.
Don't punch me. Don't punch me.
I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant." I'm sorry, that's not funny.
But really, I don't understand people like that. Maybe they're in a different mindset than we are.
I think
But-
VR chat weddings are weird personally. People can make these false relationships based off something that's pixelated. And then there's like, "Marry me, Rebecca." Like, okay. And then and everybody just knows
Yeah.
them as married, and they literally introduce themselves as an actual married couple because in their heads they're actually married. They got married on VR chat because it's a false reality game.
Sign the divorce papers.
Shiza. How do you feel about like online relationships are a different story because some situations are great, some situations are a little bit worrisome. But like, how do you feel about relationships where it's like based off of gaming? Like, gaming brings a person together. I mean, like, you know, they have an assortment of games, or that's what they do together all the time and stuff like that. I mean, people use it as bonding for sure. I definitely have. I've bonded with a few people over video games.
Yeah.
video game is
But-
just video games is so common.
Yeah.
VR chat drama. What are your
Ooh.
what are your thoughts on VR chat drama? How much do you think you're in
People
drama?
exaggerated.
Like,
Peop-
oh, for
I don't like-
sure.
Yeah.
People are so stupid on here. No offense to anybody, but people get into these mindsets and mental whatever it is just because it's a pixelated game. Yes, we can't physically fight each other. You talk shit on my mama, I can't break your teeth type stuff, you know? But it's definitely something that is easily abusive and domestically abusive on your
Yep.
brain, on your mental state. It can, you know, online cyberbullying is a thing,
Mhm.
and people just don't have self-respect. I think something that's why a lot of people play VR chat is because of the false
And that's why
reality,
there's so
because
many
they don't have
toxic
self-respect.
people. And that's
That's
why,
also
like,
why
the
these
VR chat
relationships
community
get
is like that.
rushed.
Mhm.
Do you have any crazy stories that we can use as an example?
I
To not do. Of things
do.
not to do.
Okay, not to do.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. Me personally, my advice, I don't like drama. Don't get involved in drama. Don't make it a hobby to be in drama 24/7. Don't encourage it. Don't provoke it. Just end it. That's why people invented the block button, guys.
For sure.
I'm impressed. But it's definitely, people shouldn't exaggerate it as much as they do. That's literally why there's a block button exists.
Yeah, a lot of people,
yeah.
I think, so, in the club industry, what is your opinion on club drama? Like, we have our own club, and obviously clubs have competition, clubs have owners and staff that are toxic, you know, clubs are super crazy on, oh my god, on here, but, you know, there's definitely a huge difference drama-wise compared to music clubs and dancing clubs. What is, how do you feel about dancing clubs? How do you feel about dancing and how the drama is and everything? What's your opinion?
From my aspect of seeing dancing clubs are made for people to enjoy dancing and etc. It's for people to show off their skills and do all that stuff, like do stuff physically, and I don't really think drama should be necessary with that or like involved, because it's dancing, and I know people will get into stuff and verbally, obviously it always happens anywhere and anytime, but yeah.
Have you experienced any, no names, obviously, I'm not gonna bring names up, but any, like, dramas, toxic owners, or anything? Have you seen anything?
Yes, definitely. But really, I don't mean to sound mean or judgmental, but just for my outlook and obviously not being involved. And there's always two sides, obviously, there's always two sides. But really about clubs getting into each other, drama, obviously, like just all that stuff that you've asked me about. It can be easily resolved, like I've seen.
Oh yeah, I definitely think some people get into this business with too much ego. They automatically think they're
Definitely.
better. They automatically think they can just boot everybody out of what they're doing. A lot of people, everybody here that has made a club, even including the toxic people, obviously, have all equally worked hard. Some people will work for
Mhm.
multiple clubs. There's other people that are, what are they called? Regulars there, and all
Yeah.
these things. And people are so competitive. They aren't able to experience clubs because clubs should be able to collab. They should promote each other. They
And
should
have
work with
fun.
one another because both is equally still going to get a good amount of credit. They should be grateful for what they have. Bringing toxic things, even if it's toxic in a way that they're defending themselves, they're still gonna find a way to ruin the progress they made because they are pushing this issue when it's easily let go. And people on VR chat have a thing for going above and beyond, like
Yeah. And
blasting or going at it and going behind people's backs to just make the situation worse so they can blast it on platforms without actually figuring out the issue or anything like that. Everybody's so secretive. As soon as anybody has their own little group of people, you just know you're screwed.
yeah. And also from people bringing in personal drama to destroy reputations and just all of that.
Oh yeah, people
When
have a thing for making their issues so extreme. They find a way to involve it in other things so it also becomes extreme.
and then it just keeps carrying on and on and on, and it's just wow.
Sorry, my foot hurts. Oh,
I mean, and
yeah.
then when your friends get involved and stuff, it's like, dude, I really want to say something, but and then people who get involved, they get downed with them. It's how people are. It's once you're involved, you get a title and you get just pushed around and down and supposedly exposed, quote unquote, and just on note and note of stuff that you've known to be bad things, and it's just like a process. It sometimes it can be easily resolved, and sometimes it can't. But also, I've seen a lot of people bring in personal drama, and then
Yeah.
it goes on to their content when sometimes it never even had anything to do with that.
A lot of people have a thing for um what was I gonna say? So, I had a question actually. It popped in my head from a conversation before. Relationships. Do you think relationships could use VR chat as like a date, like date night, like as something they can use for like a date night or something like what I'm talking about? Like
In a
even
way,
if it
yeah.
is based off a VR chat relationship, but like use it as a date night. I mean, we are broke. Let's be real. A lot of us are broke as fuck.
Yeah.
So VR is expensive, but once you get it, you have unlimited opportunities for sure. I'll definitely say I've had some
Yeah.
fun experiences on here, but do you think it's healthy to have it that way, or do you think it's toxic?
If what you're saying, if it's like an in person, is that what you mean? In person, and then
Yeah,
going
even if it's in
online.
person
Yeah.
or if it's like even if it's an online relationship, like in and out.
I mean, you're still communicating with your partner, and for the movie worlds, for example, that's still something that you can do to hang out with them, and just like talking and just hanging out. And yeah, I do see that as spending time together because it's still with the person, just viewed differently, and
So,
obviously in a different situation. But yeah, definitely.
how do you feel? So back on like phantom pregnancy and stuff. How do you feel on like relationships in European, like say online relationships that do it, or even relationships that are in person but they bring it into the VR chat world? Like, what are your thoughts on people doing that?
Me personally, I would never do that. If you like doing that, you do you. It's not really a lot I can say, but you do you.
Do you
Question mark.
think? Do you think it's quotations, a good thing that people use it as an excuse to do the deed?
I don't know. It's like I said, when I mean you do you, it's just really mindset on it, what you think about it, and obviously there's a dark and light opinion about that, but like I said, if you want to do it, I guess just do it, and if you don't,
How do you? This will be funny. How do you feel about VR chat content creators that do VR as a category on porn?
I mean, like I said, if do you, if that's something that you want to do, and
I think it's pretty
especially
weird.
if you're getting money for it. I mean, I try and see how people would respect it. That's why, like I previously said, there's always like a dark and light.
This is fun to
about
talk about. When it comes to VR chat, porn to be exact, how do you feel? How do you feel about the porn that people do in the tracking, but in person? It's just pretty crazy.
In person.
They do it in person, but with other head equipment on.
I mean, unless you have like an audience in VR, I wouldn't really see the concept of that. Because if you're doing that stuff with your partner in person, I feel like it's something that should be like memorable, but in a good way. And I mean, there's a lot of ways that I could. What?
Like a sex tape.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, there's a lot of ways that people could say about that stuff, but that's just kind of my outlook on it. If you're there in person, I don't think it's really worth doing that in VR, because sex, it's something that should be mutually good, something that you mutually want, and after you're done doing it, like, you want to have a good feeling after, and obviously, and that's what everybody wants when they do that. And I mean, if you want to do that with tracking on and you still get that same okay feeling after, yeah, that's okay. But that's just my outlook on it. Everybody always has opinions on it, either good or bad, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And really like that. But yeah.
Earpiece is weird. I mean, I support it in a sense. A lot of people some people have issues that they can't work on, like physical touch issues and stuff like that, where VR chat definitely comes in handy for them, which I support that, because sadly those are things that people just can't fix. Like I hate people. I mean, I don't use this as a platform like that. No, I just have a lot of phobias. Like this, I wouldn't even be able to do to you in person unless I had gloves on.
Oh yeah.
It takes a lot of trust for me to be okay with touching somebody, because I just freak out.
Yeah,
I don't like people touching me either. If you touch me, I had a friend for 8 years. He visited me a couple months ago, and he didn't respect the fact that I didn't like being touched, and I haven't talked to him since then.
Yeah, like, you have to respect somebody's boundaries, really.
I didn't care about the 8 years.
If you mess up the
nothing.
first time,
I was like,
if you mess up the first time, it's Okay, like just don't do it
I
again.
can barely handle my own phobias. Question that popped into my head. With toxic people. How do you
Toxic people.
How do you feel about people that get petty enough, sad enough, desperate enough to make a situation so extreme that they post private information about the person, you know, exposing private things about the person when it wasn't needed, or they broke the trust to the person that they were originally loyal to? How do you get that stuff?
It definitely starts with the person who starts it. Like, they do all that shit first. Me, if I was ever in that situation, I would do that shit back. I know it's not the most mature way, and it does not lead on to what I said about the block button earlier, but if you do that, if you start stuff, on your own after a situation that has happened, and you lead on to stuff that wasn't even related, and you start, like, posting relationship statuses, stuff that I trusted you to tell, like, stuff that I told you that I trusted you about, you broke my trust, like, just a lot of personal things. You're not gonna do that shit and get away with it, so obviously, the person who's getting targeted for that, they're obviously gonna do something back. So there's always going to be people who see the people who started first.
That was
it. Then there's going to be the people, like, you're going to have friends who are always going to be, like, sided with you also. There's a lot of stuff.
It's an ick.
I can go into that. Yeah.
It's an ick. It's sad. It's pathetic.
Definitely.
This girl, I'm not gonna say her name, but she's posted this on her story and stuff, so it's not like I'm okay to say it. But this person that they didn't even know, she's at work. She's a nurse. I don't care about this person, so it's okay. She takes the time out of her day while a nurse at work in a hospital to text somebody that's a VR chat content creator just to criticize them.
Wow.
I was like, she literally spent like an hour, if that, maybe even longer, just sitting and talking shit on this person. I'm like, for somebody that is working a pretty serious job, and no, she's just some random person.
Oh, then she had no right to do that whatsoever.
And she's like, I'm working at a hospital, blah blah. And she starts talking shit on this person. She's saying it's pretty horrible things. But I'm like, it's sad. It's pathetic how low people can stoop
definitely.
for what. What benefits are they really getting out of it? Because things could easily bite them in the ass, which hopefully they do.
Yeah, and like I said a little earlier, people who want to get into drama just for the attention or just to be involved, that's exactly what I thought about. Because if you're not involved originally and you were not there in that main, like, how it started, you have no reason to be there. You have no reason to say, like, anything to the person who is at fault or who is
nosy
not
people.
at fault.
Some people just need
nosy
to learn
people
to
and
keep their
people
nose.
Yeah.
Girl.
And just keep your...
Nosy people for sure are definitely annoying. People have a thing where they don't want other people in their business, but they're okay shoving their nose in other people's business, but they don't want the same thing. I'm like, respectfully, if you have a problem going on, sure, you might talk to me about it, but I'm not gonna put my nose in your business. It's not my problem, because I know it'll bite me in my ass, so I push the situation more. I mean, I give you my opinion, but that's how any situation should be. You know? I'm like, it's just unneeded to get everybody else involved to make yourself look bigger and better when generally the situation could have been something that could have just been panned out. Boom, right there.
Yeah, and also the risk of you getting at fault and also being way more involved than you thought, getting in trouble, getting stuff exposed that you never thought of originally, and it's like a cause and effect thing. But it's a whole thing. Wow. Just mind your own business. Really.
How do you how do you how do you feel about people that go above an extreme? Like, people have phantom sense, like those things are something that people can't control because it's your brain. It's your brain reacting to an online thing that they're making a reality.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel about people that abuse it? I will say a lot of the situations personally, some situations aren't able to be known. Things could happen to people without them knowing and stuff like that, but definitely to the people that sit there and these things happen to them and they cry about it to everybody, but they won't do anything to defend themselves. They won't block them, they won't remove them or anything, but they'll let it happen and they'll go cry to everybody else and it'll happen again. They'll go cry to everybody else when the situation could have been fixed. I said that really fast, I'm so sorry. Things could have been fixed. I feel like that's an issue that is kind of blamed on them. They put themselves through a situation. It's literally a pixelated game.
Yeah,
But in
and you
situations
have
where it
options to get
happened,
away from that.
yeah, and for the people that it's happened to, consensually, it's traumatic. It definitely is. Whether or not it's real life, these things are happening to you. Like, a lot of people will picture it. Like, imagine if that was me in real life. What if I was doing this in real life right now and that's what happened to me?
Yeah.
And it's definitely something that should not be a thing realistically. I don't know how people manage. It's sad. I'm like, it's sad.
Yeah. Definitely. Because in
Assault
real
is
life, you
definitely
don't have the
something-
option to block them or mute them. You don't have the option to get them away.
Yeah.
But in VR, if you're getting offended or your boundaries are getting crossed, and you're getting screamed at, that's why VR chat has a mute button or a block. But if you're just sitting there being vulnerable and you're not doing anything about it, you are also at fault too, because you have full access to do that. Everybody does. So if you're just sitting there letting that happen, it's something easy that you could fix. And I feel like if people do that, the people that are doing that are people wanting attention or like seeking comfort from people, if that makes any sense. Like, if something happened to me, for example, and obviously you would be there to comfort me. So I feel like that's how people who do that want to happen. Or maybe they just want to start something, get the other person in trouble, and I don't know. Dramatic people.
I know a lot of people's lives have been destroyed, especially on false accusations. Some people do things on accident, or some people
or
just
unknowingly
know how to ruin somebody's lives. Like, but that was like things that could have easily been resolved.
Yeah, things are easy to resolve if you know how to communicate. There's always a block button, like I've said. Really,
Yeah. I don't know. VRChat's a complicated place. I definitely think if you want to play this game, you have the right mental.
You have to be around the right people.
Yeah. Well, we are getting close to the end of this amazing podcast episode with you.
Aww.
What is do you have anything to say to VR chat players or even VR chat content creators or anything?
Just do what you like doing best. Try not to get involved with drama if you can. If you get dragged into it, try your best to fix it. Try and be the bigger person, at least in it.
Definitely.
Have fun. It's really all that matters.
Definitely.
Have fun.
Definitely
Enjoy
agree.
doing what you like doing. Enjoy it. Don't sit there being don't get drowned in drama. Like, you don't. That's not nice.
Oh, yeah,
It's
for
not a
sure.
nice feeling.
I definitely agree.
So just do what you like doing.
Yeah, definitely agree. Have fun with it. Meet new people. Be able to experience the moment with new people. Don't get so invested. And make sure you find the enjoyment in it. And you don't
Definitely.
leave things so.
Yeah, I just want to say it's been a complete honor to talk to you and be involved with this, and I'm very honored that I was able to come on here and talk a little bit. So thank you all.
Yeah,
of you.
it's been fun. It's been a fun conversation. Definitely. Well, think we're gonna end the live stream once again. I'm just Tab, and this is Zay. Thank you for watching Miss Indica's podcast. I hope everybody has a great night. Bye.